Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna go ahead and work on the Z in this video, and we're gonna go ahead and convert my short ram intakes that are from Stillen into long tube intakes. So this is one mod that I actually have not done to the car at all, and the reason for this is because my Z already came with these short ram intakes and I just never switched them out. I just left it as is, but I've always wanted a long tube intakes. And in my recent video, I just made long tube intakes for the FX and have some extra piping over here that I will link down below so you guys can go ahead and pick it up. But this is pretty much like almost enough piping to make long tube intakes. So I have like elbows right here that I'm gonna use, and I think I have one straight pipe. Yeah, I have a straight pipe, and then I think I have a shorter one somewhere. I have these couplers right here. I have quite a few left. Then these bands to tighten everything up. So it should be enough to go ahead and make our intakes. And I might have to make a few cuts here and there, but it shouldn't be too much in order to make this work. So I'm pretty excited about this because I've just, never changed this out, and it's gonna give me a little bit more space right here instead of having these boxes in the way. So yeah, one thing that's been kind of delaying me in doing this is removing my bumper, because my bumper is like chassis mounted technically, because I have my splitter that's mounted right here, and it's mounted to the frame, well not the frame but the crash bar, because I added those welds right there, and I have to go ahead and remove everything that holds up technically the splitter. It's not as easy as just removing like these clips right here and a few 10 mils at the bottom, and then I'm removing the bolt right there. Luckily that's actually pretty easy because I could just push it in and it'll pop out. But everything else, it's mounted with like what do you call it, the locking nuts. So it's a little bit more work and it's a little bit more bolts. Alright, so far it looks like I have a bunch of 13s everywhere. So all of these, looks like I have about 11, and then this right here, I added these nuts to give it that extra push right here in the middle, so it's sturdy. And then I think the bumper should just come off once I do that. I'm about to clean my crash bar. That thing is dirty, but let's go ahead and just begin removing this. And I also need to replace those dang tires. I'll probably do that in the next video. I have some extra tires actually laying around that I can replace them with. Alright, then we just gotta take this off, and then this other one, and it should come right off. There you go. So from my understanding, it'll fit through here, but you gotta make the hole a little bit bigger. It looks like this is going to be a little bit more complicated. It's a 10 mil right there, so I wonder if something's holding this in. Now this will give us a little bit more space right here. You could remove this right here as well, but I don't think it's necessary. Our Dremel should fit right in there just to smoothen it out. And we should be groovy. Let's get one of the pipes to see how much space we have. Oh, it does need quite a bit of cutting. We have to remove like a section right here, so I have to smoothen it out quite a bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use this right here to cut in there. And I have no idea where it's at. I'm gonna have to look for it, but it's like looks kind of like a rock, but it sands down surfaces by spitting, and I should be able to get a lot of it with just that. Here's this brand new one right here. This is what it looks like. There's also like this one right here. This one does pretty good in sanding, but this one does great as well. So I'm gonna use this one because it's pretty narrow. And I think I have another one, I just don't know where it's at. Alright, I got everything set up. I really hope this is easy to cut through, but we'll find out right now. Let's see if it goes in now. Alright, it's going in now. Still got a lot more to cut though. Okay, so I actually stopped for a few minutes because I had to go eat some lunch really quick. And while I stopped, I was actually looking at a few videos on how people are installing their long tip intakes. And it actually turns out that this piece down here, this back one, comes out. And I was actually going to try to cut it. Well, this thing right here, it comes out. It just has this thing right here attached on the side. Looks like some type of wire. Gotta pop that out. And then there's a 10 mil. There's this 10 mil right here. You gotta remove. Which is already pretty loose. Then once you do that, you gotta pop this thing out right there. There you go. Now we just gotta disconnect that wire right there. We just need to cut this right here technically. So we're almost there. Alright, so right there, I kind of smoothed it out a little bit more. Now it's like a really tight fit when I put it in there. I could do a little bit more to give it like a little bit more movement there, but it looks like it is too short, the pipe right here, because you can see this goes connected right there, and then this would go like that. So I need about this much length of pipe in order to connect it. So I wish I had like a little bit of a longer pipe in order to make this work, but I think I only had like 4, maybe 6 couplers. I can't remember. I only have 4. So the good thing is I may only just need 2 for each side, because if I need to extend the pipe right here, I would connect this right there like that. It's gonna go a little bit more down like this. Then I would connect this right here. Then I would need another pipe like right here just to connect there to there. So I would require another coupler to attach right there, and then to the other pipe. Then right here I wouldn't need another coupler. I just need to cut this to length. So I would probably want it like right there. But before I start cutting pipes and stuff, I want to go ahead and remove this one first. This way I can see if the angle is like a little bit different, because like if you look at this one like curves out, and then this one is just like straight down. So I'm kind of thinking that this one would need more like an angle to go in. This one will kind of most likely just go straight down and in. So we'll just have to see. So let's first remove this one, and then do the same thing, remove that right there in order to get it out, and then start, you know, mounting everything. There you go. And this one doesn't have anything connected to it. It's not gonna fit right now because I haven't cut it yet, but yeah, we will need like a little bit more pipe for this one as well. I hope we don't have to use another coupler. I would have to try to bend this, but I don't know if that'll be possible. But giving it like a little bit more angle, bending it in more, would help out a lot. Alright, so I do have the 2 elbows right here. Now I'm thinking about cutting this one because I don't plan on using this one. There's like no reason why I would use this. Unless like you're planning on looping the exhaust like down and then going back up like that. That's the only possible way I see of using this right here. But I'm not going to use this at all. So I'm thinking about cutting just that piece that I need. So I just need that small piece right there. Cut another one right there for the other side. It looks like it will fit, but I might have to just take this brace off. This one looks like it has 1, 2, 3, 10 mils, and that should give me enough space to move it out of the way. You don't want to bend it because, you know, there's a piece that goes on here along with your bumper to attach right there. I wouldn't bend that because it's going to be like out of place and your bumper won't sit properly. So it's better just to remove these 10 mils to get these intake filters right in there. Now, I do kind of want to replace my intake filters because these are pretty beat up, as you can see right there. A long time ago, and I think this was like 3 or 4 years ago, my tire was actually hitting the intake filter on that side right there, and it messed it up right there. I think I just added like some glue right there to fix it temporarily until I decided to replace it, and I think now might be the perfect time. Which sucks because these are pretty good quality filters. Like, they feel nice and they sit, you know, really good on the pipes itself, but these are like no good anymore. I think this one's in decent shape. Yeah, this one's in really good shape. This one has like nothing wrong with it. That's the one that got pretty messed up. But yeah, I'm gonna try to cut it. Right now my drum will stop working for some reason, and I just got this one too. Look, it doesn't want to turn on. Like, it moves a little bit. To try to bend this, I put it right on here, just like that, and grab the other side of the bar, and then just push down on it, put my leg right here, and then it allowed me to bend it just a little bit. Okay. Got a little bit more of a bend right there. Not to hammer that in, but right there, as you can see, now it's angled in nicely where I think it's gonna fit pretty good. I just need that small pipe right there. Once we test it, we'll see if we have to bend it a little bit more, but you kind of get the idea of what we're trying to achieve. Alright, so right now I'm working on this side. I cut off quite a bit. I think I'm gonna do this right here as well at the top to give it like a little bit more space so I can move up. And the reason for that is because there's these AC lines right here, and I don't want it rubbing on there and eventually it, you know, cracking or chewing through the AC lines. And right now you can kind of see and you can feel that it's hitting it right there. So if I cut that, that'll allow me to move it up just a little bit more than I need. Cut right there, and then that'll give us a little bit more space, and then I'll probably wrap this with some electrical tape or something just to give it that extra security so nothing happens to it. Also, if I cut that, it should move it up a little bit when I put the intake down, because it doesn't move like down like that. It's gonna push it up a little bit. Alright, now I added the electrical tape right here for extra precaution, just in case something happens, you know, that would at least give us a little bit of protection. And the only other concern that I kind of see is with this wire right here. I think I should take it off from right here, because when I put the intake tube through there, like, it gets in the way. The only other way I see of doing it is like by moving this and then putting it like that. But I think still removing it from right here would be the best bet. Alright guys, so I am running into, I would say it's a pretty big problem because this is not going to work. But the filters are way too big to the point that it's hitting this shield right here, and it's going to push down on the intake once I tighten it. Now the other problem with that is the wiring now is like messed up, and it doesn't go like kind of back in place. Like, this is going to be squished on the intake. I don't know if it'll end up ripping the line after a while. And then same thing on this side, it actually is way too close to this right here. So I was thinking about moving it like a little bit down, but even then it's still like too close. What I could do is I could try cutting this right here, and that could possibly give me the extra space that I may need, but it's a pretty tight fit. I'm almost just reconsidering taking off my crash bar and then just having the intake filters just dangle down. And then I wonder how that would look. Let me see. So if it dangles down, it's gonna sit almost like that, which I think would be visible. I mean, it would also be easy to change out the filters, but it'll almost look like that. The only thing that's really stopping me is this right here, because of my splitter rods. I would then have to mount my splitter rods to my bumper instead. I think I'm gonna have to take off the crash bar at this point. Alright, so I got the bash bar removed, and it looks like this intake can sit perfectly right there. Yeah, and it has good clearance right there as well. I'm touching this, so I think that's actually perfect. Didn't even make it any longer than that. Now, I do want to see how it would look with the bumper. Make sure there's no fitment issues. I don't think so, but let's just check. Oh yeah, it'll sit right there perfectly. You'll be able to see it too. Alright, now look at this, guys. So on this side, one of those U joints, that one like that, I went ahead and cut like up to right here to give it that like small angle. Now if you look at it right here, I have it connected right there, slightly going in, as you can see. So like this, like that, a lot of it's covered. And right now I'm just moving it around, so I want this like that. And then, see, right there, perfect. Gotta put the coupler in, tighten it, everything will be straight and good to go. And then now I just gotta put the filter right here. I haven't cut this pipe yet, so it does look like a little bit too long. As you can see, like that filter is kind of higher, so I might still cut this side right here just a little bit. So there's a quick test fit. This one's gonna sit like that. This one's too low, so I'm gonna cut the pipe just a little bit so it can sit like right here, like right in that area. But right now it's covering up the oil cooler. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but I think it would look a little bit better if it was like higher up. It looks pretty sick though. Alright guys, so we are practically done. I already got all these cleaned up. As you can see, this one right here has a really nice edge. Nothing that's gonna damage the couplers or anything like that, so make sure you sand the edges down. So this one looks really good. This one on the other hand though, try to straighten it out a little bit. As you can see, there's like that curve at the top. And then sand it down on the edges, because right there you can see a bunch of little spots that could possibly fall off into the intake and in your engine, which is not going to be good. So you want to make sure you go through these and clean them up really nicely. Same thing with the inside. You do want to go ahead and grab some type of old cloth that you have and just run it through to get all the debris out of there, because I washed these with like Dawn soap, and once they dried, I noticed that once I ran my finger, there was a bunch of dirt that just kept coming off. So what helped was grabbing a rag and just throwing it in there, and then fishing it to the other side and taking it out. I used a long shirt that helped out a lot. That way you could like drag it out, and you want to do that to all of them. This way it cleans it up really nicely. So this one's looking pretty good right here too, as you can see. Nice clean cut edge, and this one's actually like circular. So I just need to go back to this one and just fix it and make it a little bit more round. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and throw these on the car. Same. And then I'm gonna add this coupler right here. Alright, so put this filter in. Alright, so everything's on here now. It's pretty tight. But the only problem that I'm seeing is where I have my bracket right here, it's hitting it. And I'm afraid when I drive and it like jumps up a little bit, it's gonna hit it and it's gonna create a hole right here in the intake. So I could add like a rubber piece right here, or I can add like a bracket right here to hold this up so it doesn't like drop down. That would be perfect right there. But I was thinking about just adding like something rubber right here so it doesn't like directly contact it. It's looking really good. Position is perfect, not hitting the power steering cooler, not hitting the oil cooler. So let's go ahead and do the other side and mock it up. My Dremel wasn't working correctly, so I decided to use one of these to cut right through these, and it's honestly been working great. It takes me a few seconds to just cut it. And now I just gotta trim this again with my Dremel. Like I said, it's not working at full speed for some reason. Like, that's the fastest it's going right now. Alright guys, so this side is completely installed now. This one's good. I don't really hear it hitting anything except for like this right here, but that'll be fine. And then over here, it's not hitting the AC lines either. Actually it is, it's like sitting on it. But yeah, I just need to work on this side when it comes to this, because it is hitting it right there. So I could either just zip tie it up here somewhere, or I can add something right here to stop it from, you know, hitting it. And I'm trying to think what I can add that would like stick on there extremely well to absorb the impact. Like I do have these old hoses that I could just cut and then like add it around there, especially like this one right here. This one's really big. I could make like a cut going down and then wrap it around this right there, so it absorbs the impact and it doesn't mess it up. Right, so there's this one. That's perfect right there. Alright, not sure if you guys can see that, but right there I added an old coolant hose to wrap around it. Doesn't look like it's gonna come off. It's just stay put, especially because the intake's kind of like laying on it. I think it'll come off. But you know what we can do? We can add a zip tie around it so it doesn't actually come off. That's a good idea. Let's do that really quick. So I'm gonna just add a zip tie to protect these lines. Now we can finally put this one in and we should be done. Alright, there you guys go. There's the finished result. We're gonna go ahead and turn it on right now, see if we have any issues. But I actually need to plug these back in. I forgot to do that, and this one's loose. But everything's looking good. I like the positioning, so the oil cooler, you know, still has some air to breathe. Everything else looks pretty good. Everything is protected. I don't see any issues or foresee any issues happening. So pretty excited about this. Looks pretty sick. I might just change out the filters. I think I should. And I'll get some brand new ones, probably in red, to make it pop. But this looks pretty dope too. But I can't drive the car like this just because my splitter is loose without the bumper. It's just supported right there and everything else flaps. So I can't really drive it. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and test it like this, see how it sounds, and then we can put the bumper back on and drive it to see how it does. Alright guys, so we're pretty much going to end the video right there. Car's running normal with no issues. And right there you can kind of see what it looks like with the bumper somewhat back on. Still gotta move it a little bit more back to attach it, but I'll do that later. I won't bore you guys with that. Gotta add my splitter rods. Once I do that, then put everything up on the top and then the bolts at the bottom. Just gonna be a lot more work. But you guys may be asking yourself, why did I make my own long tube intakes instead of just buying some off the shelf? So if you guys shop online, you look for, you know, 2.5 inch intakes and or even 3 inch intakes, you're looking at over like $500. I think Z1 is like $450. I could be wrong, I haven't looked in a while, but they're pretty pricey. Now I had made some long tube intakes. Let me show you guys really quick. On this car I made some 2.5 inch intakes on the FX because nobody really sells them for this car, so I thought I'd just make my own. And right here you can see that I picked up, these are Concept Z like couplers that go right here that attach, and then I made my own piping going all the way down with an elbow, and that goes right there. So I had already bought piping. This was honestly like 80 bucks for that whole box. Made intakes for this car, made intakes for that car. On this car it cost me, I think it was like 60 bucks for this. I got this for free technically with this. So I cut this off of the original MAF boxes. Then I used the pieces of the pipes that I purchased from Amazon for like 80 bucks. So these intakes alone, not including the filters, I think, I could be wrong, but I think they were 15 each and it came out to like 30 or 40, somewhere around there. Now over here on the Z, technically I didn't spend anything other than the tools I already have to go ahead and make this. So I made 2 pairs of intakes for about 120 bucks. My car already came with these, but let's say my car didn't come with these right here. I would have got those couplers that go right here for like 80 bucks from Concept Z, even Z1 sells them. Then I would have just cut my original boxes right here to make the flange. That would have been like 60 bucks. So in reality, I saved a bunch of money on 2 pairs of intakes for this car. That's why I wanted to do this DIY, and I was able to make my own custom ones that I think honestly breathe a little bit better because it's right in the front and it looks a little bit better in my opinion. The only thing that's going to suck is if it rains, water is going to be sucked in by those intakes, but I can buy some covers for it to stop that. And or I honestly don't even drive this car anymore, so it's never really going to happen. I just don't need to drive my car when it's going to rain. So that's the biggest thing when it comes to this, on why I made my own intakes. And I think this will be helpful to some of you guys as well. If you already have, you know, short rams, you can convert them into long tubes just like I did, and you'll save a lot more money in my opinion, especially if you're going to do 2 cars. I have 2 VHRs, so make 2 intakes out of just technically 1 box. And I still have some piping left. I have I think it's another U-joint, an elbow, and a straight pipe right there. So I still even have some parts left. Hopefully that answers some of you guys' questions, because I think I had one guy in one of my comments on Instagram ask me why I made my own intakes when I could have bought some, and I spent what, like quarter of the price, because if I would have bought 2 pairs of intakes, that would be like 800 plus, maybe closer to 1,000 with shipping and everything. 100 and, you know, $20, $50, can't beat that. But that's gonna conclude the video, guys. The next thing I will be doing to the Z is most likely retuning it. Not because of the intakes, but I just tuned my FX, and my FX is insanely crazy with this tune, and I feel like it's more aggressive than my Z, and I want to get it retuned. So that will most likely be the next video. So if you guys want to watch that, stay tuned to the channel. I am also fixing my wing. I know it's a mess. I'm cleaning out the house because I was redoing my flooring, but I'm redoing my wing. It looks like crap, if I'm being honest with you. It has a bunch of orange peel and has a crack again. I'm gonna fix that, put it back on the car. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.